Mr. Ruthvik Galem is a civil engineer at Odisha Bridge and Construction Corporation Limited, OBCC. He received his integrated dual degrees in BTech in Civil Engineering and MTech in Environmental Engineering at IIT Bhubaneswar 2023. His research interests include air pollution assessment and forecasting. He also received the Best BTech Project Award 2022 for his excellent project on assessment of level of air pollution in metro cities in India. In addition, he has a keen interest in the synthesis of science and spirituality. He is a part of Young Minds Speak. Please put your hands together for Mr. Ruthvik Galem.
So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to present some of my thoughts on dynamics of mind and memory. I will be mostly concentrating on mind and partly concentrating on memory also. Firstly, my presentation is dedicated to Sri Varun Agarwal ji for his guidance and support in different phases of my life. So my presentation is based on these two books. One is Bhagavad Gita and another one is Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. So they are freely available if you want to browse on vedabase.io. So okay, let's get into the presentation. So here in Bhagavad Gita, as you all know, Arjuna asks the questions and Krishna will give the answer. So here Arjuna is telling that the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna. And to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. So first, we need to understand that this mind is not that much easy to control. So which is very, very much complicated. So even Arjuna, who was a great warrior, who has a lot of concentration. So he himself is telling that it is very difficult than controlling the wind. But it is possible because God has the answer for this. As he is telling, O mighty arm, O son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. So these are the two things Lord is suggesting, by suitable practice and detachment. And even Lord is also telling, yes, it is undoubtedly very difficult. Yes, that is also true. It is very much difficult, but it is possible by suitable practice. So what is that suitable practice? So that I will be explaining in further slides. So before going into explaining the suitable practice, why it is important? Because if we control the mind, or if we conquer it, then it will be our best friend, or else it will be the biggest enemy or the greatest enemy. So if we don't control, it will cause us a lot of trouble. So it is good if we control. So this is the sloka where Krishna is telling that. So, and one who is not connected with Supreme can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind. So, nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? So, as we know, we all are searching for happiness in some or other way. So, here God is telling that if one is not connected to the Supreme or to God, it is not possible to have a steady mind. So if you don't have a steady mind, then there is no possibility of peace. If there is no peace, then there is no possibility of happiness. And then, whose mind is fixed on me, verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. So here is the key. The main thing means on what foundation mind can be controlled is that if one fixes his mind on Lord, then it can be controlled. So that is the whole foundation on which now I'm going to explain the suitable practice or what we can do. So this is the base for which I'm going to explain. So our talents, we have many different talents because the suitable practice may not be same for everyone. It is different for different people. So yes, that is good because we have different talents and different talents can be used to put it in a good form. And as we are in science, so it is said in this sloka, like advanced people are eager to understand the absolute truth through the medium of science. So it is very good because we are in science, so we can easily, or we can easily get it. So first, if we see the physics, so a physicist should inquire about what is the real source of laws of nature. So physicist can start with this. Like we have Heisenberg, who said the first gulp from the glass of natural science will turn you into a theist, but at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you. So like the scientist have understood, means he has deeply understood and said these words. So if a physicist can inquire about the like what is the real source of laws of nature, then he can slowly come into that. And then a chemist, like a chemist can inquire who is the supreme chemist behind all the wonderful molecules, DNA, chlorophyll, proteins, etc. So a chemist can do in that way. Like Richard Ernst, he's a Nobel laureate in chemistry. He's telling that science and technology alone cannot solve the problems of the new millennium. We need an additional guidelines for our actions, for the selection of our research projects and research goals. These guidelines have to do with ethics and philosophy and with faith. And the mathematics. So mathematicians can also start inquiring in this way. Mathematicians should inquire about the wonderful mathematical laws involved in intelligent design, in working of nature, and the marvel of the designer. And as there is a famous quote we generally quote, like by Srinivas Ramanujan, an equation means nothing to me unless it expresses a thought of God. Then even in biology, biologists, biochemists, and biotechnology should inquire about the true nature and the origin of life and its basis. So even we can see Werner Arbor, who is a Nobel laureate, he is telling the possibility of existence of creator of God represent to me a satisfactory solution to the problem, like very complicated problems. He is telling that possibility of the creator could be the good solution. So his realization, he came to that realization. And then even in computer science, it is similar to the mathematician. Mathematician and computer science can inquire about the source of mathematical principles, and that drives the nature to work so precisely. So he can inquire that. So there is also one quote you can see. And same with the like biotechnology people also, like Francis Collins, he is telling that God can be found in the cathedral or in the laboratory. And by investigating God's majestic and awesome creation, science can actually be the means of worship. So he came into that realization. And if you go furthermore, like first is inquiry, like all the previous things I told about the inquiry, now to put into the action. Like next, like if you see for the summer school itself, like we required a lot of different departments, different teams working together to come up with a very beautiful summer school. So here we required lot of different teams, like designing, registration team, sponsorship, script writing, article, volunteers, hospitality, like there are many things. So all this can be used as like to put into practice. So this is a next level of, means after the inquiry we can do in the next level, and so on. It, like there are many things. So what is actually happening behind? So till now we have seen, like I was emphasizing on connecting with God. So what is actually happening is said in this sloka. It is the working senses are superior to dull matter, mind is higher than the senses, intelligence is still higher than the mind, and the soul is even higher than the intelligence. So what has to be done is soul has to be first set into the proper channel, and then with that rest everything can be get into control. So one has to control the lower one by using the higher one, then the things will come in a smooth manner. So soul has to tell the intelligence like where actually the intelligence should lead to. So that, so soul has to drive the intelligence, then intelligence has to tell mind like this is correct and this is wrong. So then mind can direct the senses to go in the proper direction. So this is what the mechanism happening behind. So if we try to start inquiring, and if we start doing some work for God, then what happens is the self or the soul will be properly situated. When it is situated properly, then rest will come slowly, and everything will be properly aligned. So this is what actually happening behind controlling the mind. And regarding the memory, this is one sloka in Bhagavad Gita. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So, as this text is already pointed out, so actually from him, means from God, remembrance, knowledge, and forgetful comes. So even if you start doing the inquiry, then God helps. He will give us the knowledge for him, because we may think, if we start inquiry, do we get or not, like, but he will give the knowledge, he will give the right directions. So this is in short. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.